Hello, I'm Rhiannon Jones and welcome to Showcase, where we bring you the biggest and best news in art, culture, style and entertainment from here in London to Istanbul and across the world. Coming up on this week's show, singing sensation Carly Paoli joins us to chat about her new album and what it's like to perform for a king as well as a pope. Esra Durust brings us this week's top 5 from Istanbul. I catch up with Yolanda Brown OBE at her exciting new music venue and restaurant, Soul Mama, for some sax and snacks. And with the Formula One season in full swing, we pop down to Supercar Members Club Auto Vivendi to check out F1 superstar Lando Norris's latest set of wheels. Plus, our weekly rundown of all that matters from the world of entertainment news in Snapshot. But first, it's my absolute pleasure to welcome to the show the voice of an angel, as described by the Pope himself, Carly Paoli. Carly, thank you so much for joining us and welcome to Showcase. What an accolade! Why did you perform for the Pope?
Back in 2016, I had a brand new version of the Ave Maria, which became adopted by the Vatican as the official song for Pope Francis's Jubilee. And that's when he said, you have the voice of an angel, and it's something I've always treasured, as you can imagine. I've got Italian family as well, so they love it.
You have a new album out. In fact, it was released yesterday, a festive album. Tell us about that.
So this is my first festive album, and it's really exciting because it's the first time I've not been slaving away for months in the recording studio. It's a collection of songs that I've recorded over the last 10 years, and some of the numbers are live, so from Liverpool Cathedral, you've got the exciting moments with the full symphony orchestra, and it kind of branches up from classical festive numbers like Holy Night and Silent Night, but then into the fun quirky numbers like Frosty the Snowman and Let It Snow.
Sounds fabulous, Carly. Let's have a listen. And you've also performed alongside Andrea Bocelli.
I have. I've had the pleasure of performing with Andrea a few times. The first time was at Termi di Caracalla. We sang again together at the Roman Forum, which was the first time a concert of that kind had ever happened. It was essentially performing in an open-air museum. Such a fantastic musician, and he's listening all the time to what you're doing together vocally, so he's blending the harmonics and everything, so it's just working with a great maestro, really.
And Carly, you've performed for King Charles here in the UK. What was that like?
An amazing honour. My first occasion performing for His Majesty was at Windsor Castle, and it was a special concert in honour of His Majesty's Foundation. And I think the loveliest thing to take away from that experience was I was then invited back the following year again to perform at a private dinner event for His Majesty at St James's Palace.
Now that's a compliment. When you perform and then you're invited back, then you know you've done a good job.
It's special, yeah, that meant everything.
Did you meet him afterwards?
I did, absolutely. I had the pleasure of meeting His Majesty and also the Queen. And
what did he say?
He enjoyed the performance. No, you're not supposed to say too much, are you? But I will say one of the first albums that I did send to Her Majesty the Queen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. One of my favourite phrases that a dear friend told me to remember is here and now, because you do have all these special pinch me moments Earlier this year I had a special moment performing in New York. I then duetted with Sir Rod Stewart. You know, very fitting song. We performed the beautiful song Manhattan together as a duet, and that was definitely a here and now moment.
That's really lovely. And you have a house in Puglia, don't you? And I'm sure I've read somewhere that you just fling open the windows and sing out to sea to the fishermen. Is that true?
Well, not too early in the morning, because I think the fishermen might get a bit annoyed at me at that.
I'd be delighted if I were a fisherman.
I certainly do sing. I have to practice everywhere I go. So at home here in Wiltshire, I live on a farm, and which is a great thing when you're a singer, because trust me, no neighbours want to hear me doing my warm-ups in the morning. When I'm in Puglia, I'm right on the coast, and I can, on a clear day, see Greece and Albania. Wow. So it's a gorgeous spot, and certainly an amazing creative space to be able to sing and practice music.
Staying on the training, how often do you train in a week, let's say, or in a day even?
I usually train 4 and 5 times a week. You never stop. Your voice is changing and developing, and there's always new challenges. It's an instrument that you live with on a day-to-day basis.
And take me through a few of the warm-ups that you do for your voice.
Okay, I'd usually start with humming, so just humming scales. Nice, lovely.
Well, we're warmed up. Could we hear a little bit? Do you mind?
I don't mind at all. Oh, on the spot.
Sorry.
I'm going to give you a little rendition of Over the Rainbow.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Carly.
First thing in the morning.
Really appreciate that. The fabulous Carly Paoli there. Well, let's head over to the equally fabulous Esra Durust in Istanbul now for this week's Top 5 Rundown.
Thank you, Rhiannon. The music world has been shaken by the news that music genius and one of its greatest ever leading lights, Quincy Jones, has passed away. Quincy enjoyed an extraordinary career spanning more than 7 decades and worked with top names in the business like Frank Sinatra, Tina Turner and Michael Jackson. This week, we're taking a look at his top 5 greatest moments. At number 5, Quincy composed the soundtrack for over 50 films and TV programs, including The Italian Job. At number 4, he produced one of the best-selling albums of all time, Michael Jackson's Thriller, winner of Album of the Year at the Grammys. He also produced Bad and Off the Wall for Jackson, marking one of the greatest collaborations in music history. At number 3, music production wasn't enough for Quincy. He later turned his hand to filmmaking when he produced the Oscar-winning film The Color Purple with Oprah Winfrey. At number 2, in 1985, he gathered together 46 US artists, including Michael Jackson, Bruce Springsteen, Tina Turner, and Cyndi Lauper, to record We Are the World, which he also co-wrote. And at number 1, Quincy won 28 Grammys over his lifetime and was nominated for a staggering 80. After Beyoncé and Jay-Z, he became the most nominated artist in Grammy history. For this music legend, the list of achievements goes on simply because he really was the ultimate Renaissance man. Rest easy, Quincy Jones, you'll be sadly missed.
Time now for InStyle, and it doesn't get much more stylish than F1 superstar Lando Norris's latest customised McLaren. So we pop down to luxury private members supercar club Auto Vivendi to check out their incredible collection of very rare and very expensive Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Porsches and more. Oh, and see if they'd let me behind the wheel of a McLaren very similar to Lando's. Well, here we are inside Auto Vivendi's London clubhouse, surrounded by some of the most stunning supercars I have ever seen in my life. They truly are things of beauty. Well, I'm here with Craig, the man behind this incredible collection. Craig, first of all, thank you very much for letting us all in here because it is unbelievable. So, $1 million question really is, which is your favourite car? Do you have a favourite car?
It changes all the time. They're all fantastic, you know, for different reasons. Aston Martin on a day out with the roof down is incredible. McLaren, one of my favourites. It's like choosing your favourite child.
And which is the most expensive car,
Probably
though?
at the top as you came in, the blue Ferrari SF90 Spy. Yeah, that's just under £500,000.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
So what makes a car a supercar?
It's an ongoing conundrum in the community that, I mean, it could be the price, the power, the badge. It's very down to personal opinion, I would say. It's a hard question to answer that.
So can a supercar be electric?
It can, again, subjective question, but you know, we're fortunate. We work with some incredible brands, and today we've got Lotus displaying a really special, in fact it's a hypercar, so a step up from a supercar. Down at the bottom, the Lotus Evija, £2.4 million, I think it's 2,000 horsepower, that car. Incredibly rare. Jenson Button's just got one, the Formula One driver. It's an amazing piece of kit, and we're showcasing it for the party tonight.
A hypercar.
Yeah,
Is
next
that
level.
better than super?
Next level.
Oh, how many hypercars are there in here?
That one and the SF90 I talked to you about.
I didn't even know that hypercars were a thing.
It's kind of the next level. So, you know, £500,000, £1 million plus, and just masses of horsepower, rarity, lots of things come together to make a hypercar.
Mind's
but that is a
blown.
really special thing.
I got my license a few years ago, maybe 3 years ago.
Okay.
I have pinged a car or two before.
Okay.
Would I be allowed to join?
Probably not, no.
It's worth asking though, right? It's worth a shot. Now, one of the most stylish cars of the moment, arguably, is Lando Norris's latest purchase, which is the McLaren 765 LT Spider. And I understand that you have one of those in here.
We do. It's an incredible car, one of our halo cars. We love McLaren, British brand. You know, we've worked with them for years. We bought everything they've made. The 765 LT Spider, unbelievable car.
Which one is it?
It's that one right behind you.
This one. Oh, wow. Should we take a look?
Yeah, sure.
So this is it.
Yeah.
Lando Norris's latest purchase. Why this car?
I think it's just the epitome of this range. It's incredibly, I mean, it looks beautiful, super powerful, expensive, very rare.
It definitely is beautiful. How much would this set you back?
About £400,000 in this spec.
So do you mind, could I maybe...
Sure,
Thank
dive
you.
in and lift.
Oh, wow. It is quite low,
It's not
isn't
easy.
it?
These are the McLaren Senna carbon seats.
Oh, wow, Craig.
Press and hold the red button.
Okay. Oh, wow. Wow. That's amazing.
Cool, huh?
That was really exhilarating. Thank you so much, Craig. I really, really appreciate it and your time. And I just have one final question for you, and that is, can I take it home, please?
As it's you, no.
And from cars to culture now as we head down to Soul Mama in East London, a delightful fusion of food and music. 10 years in the making, it's the brainchild of award-winning saxophonist Yolanda Brown OBE. And with the help of some record-breaking crowdfunding, she's finally able to open the doors to a space for grassroots musicians. Oh, Yolanda, thank you so much for inviting us to Soul Mama. It's absolutely fantastic. And it's all about food, it's all about music, the fusion between the two. Tell us a little bit more about the concept behind Soul Mama.
We always say feed your soul. And when you think about the senses, when you're out to have a good time and a good night with live entertainment, you need the music, you need great sound, but also the wonderful flavors that come through. And for us, our food is a fusion of African, Caribbean and South American food. So it's all the flavors, the rich spices and the great music. It just goes perfectly.
Why were you so passionate about making this concept reality? Why is it so important to you? You're a multi-award winning musician yourself. Was there something that you'd noticed was missing in the market?
Well, as a touring musician, I've played in so many of these style venues and larger all around the world. And you do find actually that some venues start off as a live music venue and then there's a food offering, or they start off as a restaurant and put a stage in the corner. But to know that this was, the focus was on having great sound, top class instruments and backline, and then making sure that the food goes along with all of the programming. For me, it was really important.
And how's it all going?
It's really great. I mean, the vision for me also was, it's all styles of music. Anything can happen on this stage. There could be panel interviews, there's going to be concerts for children, radio shows, podcasts, and of course, all of this plethora of musicians. And to be able to see these audiences enjoy those genres. It's not just jazz, it's funk, it's soul. We've had an Afrobeat festival. We're going to have Catherine Jenkins in December.
Wow.
We're going classical, we've got funk, we've got everything in between.
Knowing that this is your baby, your heart and soul, to finally be performing here.
It's even more emotional because, you know, the start of this journey was to raise, of course, money. It's all well and good to have a vision, but we needed to raise money to make it happen. And so we embarked on a crowdfund campaign, which is a very nerve-wracking experience to see if people would sort of follow the vision. It's even more emotional because, you know, these people, before we even had bricks and mortar, they had already committed and supported this fund. And we got into the Guinness World Records for raising the most a restaurant had raised globally on the platform. So I think that's going through my mind a lot, that the people in this room are the ones that supported us from the beginning.
And on the subject of being an entrepreneur, it's particularly difficult for women-led businesses, in particular black women-led businesses, because they're underfunded. Did you find it a particular hurdle for you while setting up?
I mean, it's a statistic that I'm aware of, you know, and we all understand how cultures work and history work. It's not something that I take into business with me. I believe in the concept. It's not even necessarily about me. I want people to really enjoy it. But that being said, you know, we've had a lot of meetings, and to think that this is a wonderful opportunity to change that statistic, I would have thought that there would have been a little bit more interest in the beginning, but I have to say now it's all coming about. Now we're here.
Tell us a little bit about the food in particular. We're going to talk to your executive chef, Alejandro Brown, in just a moment. But what's the idea behind the food here at Soul Mama in particular?
Soul food is something that hits your soul when you eat it. It doesn't matter where you're from. It's just cooked and marinated, and lots of time has gone into it. I mean, it's a fancy place, if I can say so myself. You can see the sparkles on the side. So, you know, it's not sort of a plate with rice and meat. It's really decadently designed. There's edible flowers on the jerk chicken and the chicken wings. You know, it's really lovely put together. But you've still got the true essence and those heritage flavours.
It just sounds like it's good for the soul.
It really is.
Good for the soul. I
That's
can't
the
wait to
tag.
experience it. What's the future of Soul Mama? What's your vision? How big are we talking? Where does she go next?
We're talking big, and this has always been the vision, to be a touring platform for artists, to spread this concept and this feeling around the world. I was playing at the Istanbul Jazz Festival a few months ago, and just every time I'm on stage now, I have to tell people about Soul Mama. Straight after, a wonderful lady came to me and said, you know, we need one, a Soul Mama Istanbul, let's do it. So conversations are already happening into Saudi Arabia, through to America, and also around London and throughout the UK.
Wow.
And it really, really is nice that people are grabbing the vision and wanting to be a part of it.
Yolanda, you're such an inspiration. You've done so well. Soul Mama sounds incredible. Really all that's left is for me to try this incredible experience and have this fusion of music and beautiful food. Alejandro, thank you so much for letting me into your kitchen. What are you doing? Tell me. Oh, that looks amazing.
Thank you so much. So here we have for you some amazing Afro-Caribbean food with some lovely South American flavors as well. So I'm going to be doing two of my favorite dishes on the menu. We have a vegan option, which is the jerk cauliflower with some lovely plantain. And then we also have some lamb locro.
Smells delicious. It looks delicious. I can't wait to try it. But first, tell me a little bit about your training, your background. You trained under a very particularly well-known chef.
Yes, indeed. And that person is Gordon Ramsay. Yes. So,
is he as scary as everyone thinks?
oh my goodness. Very, very scary. When he speaks, literally no one can speak. And yeah, you just have to be ready at all times.
So great training. What do you bring to Soul Mama?
There's always three things that I put in all of my food. And that's love, passion, and desire.
It looks spectacular.
So that's the cauliflower dish right there.
That looks beautiful. Whoa.
So this is the lamb locro. So again, a fusion between Caribbean and South American.
It looks beautiful. I can't wait any longer, I'm afraid, Alejandro. I'm going to get stuck in.
Tuck in.
Oh,
how's the flavor? Nice kick of spice.
Get to it.
Oh yes.
Shake your hand, Alejandro.
No problem.
Well, I've got the food. All that's missing, really, I think, is the music. And best of luck to Yolanda and the rest of the Soul Mama team. Time now for this week's entertainment news roundup in Snapshot. Hollywood heartthrob Idris Elba's announced plans to launch a movie studio in Africa in the next 5 to 10 years. With both parents from the continent, he says he wants to use his star power to ensure it becomes central to the international film industry, saying it's vital that Africans get to tell their own stories. The actor, who once portrayed Nelson Mandela in the 2013 movie Long Walk to Freedom, says he even plans to relocate to the continent to make it happen, living in Freetown, in Zanzibar, wherever they're telling stories. It's an ambitious and very important project, so we wish Idris every success in bringing African filmmaking to the forefront of the industry. Let's head over now to Esra Durist in Istanbul.
Palestinians are expressing their support and resilience through art, whether from the heart of their homeland or far away. In Abu Dhabi, a Palestinian woman is leading embroidery workshops that celebrate and preserve the rich tapestry of Palestinian heritage. Through the intricate designs, she brings to life the tradition of tatreez, a vibrant and complex form of embroidery that serves as a profound symbol of Palestinian culture and identity. For her, it's more than an ancient practice. Instead, it's a connection to her homeland, a heartfelt reminder of what it means to be Palestinian.
What I love about it is that once they take this piece home, it's like they're taking a piece of Palestine with them. And it's a great conversation starter for when people visit their homes. They ask, what is this about? And they get to teach them about tatreez and about Palestine, because tatreez is Palestine. Tatreez is a piece of us, it's a piece of me. Each stitch tells a story.
Now we'll look at some paintings by a displaced Palestinian artist who lives in Syria but always dreams of his home, Gaza. Mohammed Al-Rawki is a 74-year-old artist. He channels his memories of Gaza into his artwork. Since the events of October 7, he has harnessed his creativity to shed light on the Palestinian cause, depicting the harsh realities faced by those in the Gaza Strip.
We Palestinian refugees and those who were pushed out of Palestine are always dreaming of our homes. So I always paint houses, and I dream of mountains with houses on top of each other. I visited Palestine in 1973, and I saw most of the country. I saw our destroyed villages, and I saw some of the original villages and Palestinians that were there before the Israelis. I dream one day that we will go back, so that is why I always draw these houses.
And in Palestine, for many, art and resistance are intertwined. A street artist in the occupied West Bank transforms the 8-meter concrete barrier of Bethlehem into a vibrant canvas adorned with poignant images of children, birds, and soldiers. He believes that art transcends boundaries and inspires change.
Art, it is the main language. It is the only language that will be like more understandable for the other people. Like I can't speak Chinese, and the Chinese people can't speak Arabic, but we can understand each other through art.
We totally can understand each other through art. That's all from me now, Rhiannon. Back to you.
Ezra, thank you. Teşekkürler. Well, that's it from all of us here at Showcase. A big thank you to Carly Paoli, Craig Williams and Yolanda Brown. Next week on Showcase, we're joined by top Palestinian chef Sami Tamimi. Ezra catches up with Spanish singing sensation Cecilia Krull, and we have a bit of a treat for all you Taylor Swift fans. And of course, we'll bring you all the latest entertainment news in our weekly Snapshot Roundup. We'll see you then.